Hey guys, so in today's video, I wanted to clarify something that I said in a previous video where I was talking about how I needed a specific type of therapist, whether it's occupational or physical therapist, in order to be successful. And I kind of wanted to explain what I meant by that. So when I was in inpatient rehab for almost a month, um, I had the chance to work with multiple different types of therapists with obviously multiple different personalities. So I worked with speech therapy, occupational therapy, and physical therapy when I was in inpatient rehab. And like I said, when you work with different people, you're going to encounter different personalities, and different people have a different way of motivating you to complete tasks or to do work. And there was one physical therapist that I worked with on the day when the main physical therapist that I was working with was off. And she and I did not do well together at all. So I don't know if it was just like the way that she was talking to me or like the things that she was saying, but she was like really like drill sergeant-y and like you have to work really hard, and like she was like, give me a high five and then say "Ugh," and like it just wasn't me. Like that's not my personality. um I like to infuse my struggles with a sense of humor, and so I think that's why the main physical therapist and I worked together so well when I was in inpatient rehab, because like we were a great team, and we would constantly joke back and forth, like even during times where I was super uncomfortable or like starting to get exhausted. I would let her know like, hey, I'm getting tired, and then I would also like throw a joke in there just to let her know like, hey, I'm okay, but I'm just letting you know that I'm also getting really tired. um, so I think what I need is a balance of someone who is going to allow me to be my sarcastic self, because I am definitely a sarcastic person. I definitely have a sense of humor, and I love to infuse things with sarcasm. And like I said, going through my struggles with a sense of humor makes my struggles a little bit easier to deal with for me. And so like being able to find a person who's going to be able to work with me like that is definitely something that I think is going to be helpful. Um, I do feel like the occupational therapist that I did my evaluation with yesterday is going to be a fairly decent fit, at least based on the work that we did together yesterday, which I know it was only like an hour. But based on what we did yesterday, I do feel like she and I are going to be a good fit. And it's like her and two other therapists for occupational therapy are the ones that I'm scheduled with right now, but a lot of my appointments are with her. So I think that that is something that's good. I do like consistency as well, especially if I find that I do a good, decent work with one particular person. I do feel like it's helpful when you're able to be consistently with that person. I don't think it's a bad thing to kind of mix things up and throw somebody else or a different personality into the mix either, because I do think it's good to get the different views of different people, and they might have an idea of an activity or task that you could work on that your regular therapist might not have thought about or might have overlooked for whatever reason. So I do think it's helpful in that aspect as well. But I just need somebody who's going to be motivating to me, but not going to be like drill sergeant like and like super like you have to grunt, and like it's not my personality. And like I said, if they accept my sarcastic sense of humor, that is also helpful. I did throw in a couple of instances yesterday when I was meeting with the occupational therapist of my sense of humor, and she laughed at it. And so like I said, I do think it's going to be a good fit. I just hope that the other occupational therapists that I will be working with that I haven't met yet are also as open and able to be flexible with the way that I like to do things. I don't want to sound like I'm being a difficult person, because I don't really view myself as a difficult person, But I do think that, like, if you are a person who needs like a sense of humor in order to deal with the stressful events in your life, and you aren't afforded that opportunity, it can definitely make things harder to deal with. And when you have to do something like occupational therapy, where I have to go to this rehab center multiple days a week, in order to do this therapy, that is difficult for me because, for one, it's things that I used to be able to do by myself with no problem. And now all of a sudden, these are things that I'm struggling with. It's just very frustrating. So, it's a struggle for me, and these are things that I have been struggling with ever since being hospitalized for these issues. So I think that it's important that I find somebody who is able to provide me with the opportunity to progress physically and mentally and cognitively, but also push me in a way that is helpful and not harmful. And I don't mean like physically harmful, but like mentally. If you come at me with like a drill sergeant type of attitude, that is just not what works for me, at least in the physical therapy realm. So yeah, that is just kind of what I meant. I felt like it might be helpful to explain it to you guys, because I didn't want to come off as like me being a difficult patient, or like being difficult or being picky about the people that are providing the therapies for me, because that's not what I meant by it. So I felt like it would be helpful to explain to you guys what I meant. So hopefully that helps. If you guys have any questions or any other topics you would like to hear me talk about on my channel in the future, leave them in the comments below, and I will talk to you guys in my next video.